Hello everyone, I'm Rupam and welcome again in yet another episode of Intimacy Laws. So far we have understood what is a relationship, what are classes and objects, why relationships do not work, how humans have been objectified, why such an objectification is needed at the first place. We have also learned what is the difference between rules, laws, and code. In today's episode, we are going to discuss about the difference between emotions and feelings. This is very fundamental, but still, we are going to discuss one of the most fundamental things in day to day life in our relationships, that is, the difference between emotions and feelings. So, to start with, what is a feeling? A feeling is essentially the state of your physiology at any given instance of time that you experience. Let me again repeat. A feeling is your state of physiology at any given instance of time that you can experience. So your body has got different hormones, different chemicals, and then there is a different electrical state. So at any given instance of time, there is a separate composition of the chemicals inside your body. There are always atomic reactions, chemical reactions which are going on inside your body. So at any given instance of time, there is a state of that chemistry, and then there is a state of the electrical being of your body. These two together, whatever you can experience is called the feeling. So feeling has got two parts. One is physiology of your body at this moment, which means your electrical state of the body and your chemical state of the body. And the second part is how you experience that state. For example, if I say, are you stupid? You are wasting your time watching these videos. Are you really a stupid? You see, when I'm throwing this sentence at you, if I'm saying, are you stupid? Why are you wasting your time with these videos? Your brain gets kind of angry. Your brain kind of thinks, what is this? There is a negative state now because you just heard something you were not expecting. You are experiencing something which is little negative in a sense. You are experiencing anger. You are experiencing something which is not right. So you are experiencing a negative state of the body, a feeling which your brain did not like. So any physiology that your brain doesn't like is called a negative feeling. So a negative feeling is one where your brain releases essentially hormones like cortisol, which is a stress hormone, hormones like adrenaline, which is an anger and aggression hormone. A positive state is one where your brain releases dopamine. Dopamine is a reward hormone. So, essentially, irrespective of whatever your state of the body is, either your brain likes that or dislike it, or sometimes your brain stays neutral. Neither it likes it nor it dislikes it. Now, if I say, just think how much you are going to improve by daily assessing your knowledge, educating yourself. Imagine the way that your relationship is going to change Imagine the way you have a good future when there are good relationships in your life. Imagine the way that you are going to stay a very zen mode in the future. Imagine when things are going to be so good. Imagine birds are chirping. Imagine there is a sound of spring. Imagine the relaxed environment. Just relax your shoulders. Just relax your shoulders. Relax your body like this. Relax. And just imagine a state where everything is so good. And you will immediately start feeling a difference in your body. So this is how your physiology is changing. Physiology changes every second, every millisecond, every nanosecond in your body. And even though your body changes every millisecond or nanosecond, your brain doesn't keep on releasing the hormones every second or millisecond. Perhaps in every 10 seconds or for a certain period of time, brain senses that state and then keeps a specific state. Say for example, in your workplace, if somebody has really appreciated you, you remain in a positive state for the entire day. On the other hand, in the workspace, if your boss or say some colleague has been playing a lot of games with you, you feel very negative even at the end of the day. So these are nothing but the feelings. You have to understand that the feeling is very momentary. Feeling is how your brain is responding to the situation. So for any situation, your body responds, and body's cumulative response, average response, is being perceived by the brain, and then brain also produces its hormone that is perceived by your consciousness and awareness. This is how it works. Okay. So whenever we are feeling bad, in general, particularly in today's world, the world is completely feelings driven because the world is feminized and females are feelings driven. Why females are feeling driven? It is so simple to understand. Female estrogen levels are more or less over 200 ngtl, whereas male estrogen level is hardly 10 ngtl. Some of the females have higher estrogen level in comparison to the testosterone. Both male and females have both testosterone as well as estrogen. Male have higher testosterone, lower estrogen, whereas females have higher estrogen and lower testosterone. And there are reasons for both the genders, both the sexes having both the different hormones. We are not yet going to go in those details, but because females have higher estrogen, they have higher hormonal variation. Estrogen varies every second, so females are extremely feeling driven. So all a female wants to do is not to feel bad, because feeling bad stops their hormone, stops dopamine, and they pretty much think that the day is over. And that is the reason people are more concerned about not hurting the others. At least they act not to hurt others. However, that is not real, isn't it? You cannot always ensure how a person's body and brain is reacting in every second, because if you have to be concerned about somebody's every second of body, then you are not concerned about your own body, brain, and well-being. It is just not possible. Understand. Caring about the feelings of the others is just not possible theoretically, because the feeling changes every second, and everybody has got different chemistry. Somebody's hemoglobin level varies, somebody's, people's hemoglobin level are different, people's estrogen level are different, people's white blood cells levels are different, the size of the lungs are different, the nervations is different, genetics is different. So any two individuals fingerprint is different. So any two individuals anatomy also at the minute level differs significantly. So no two individual is same. So the same statement, why are you wasting time watching these videos? Let's go back and have fun. If I am talking to you in this fashion, this is going to generate different state of feelings in different people. All of you will feel in a different way. Somebody will say, he's joking. Somebody will say, I just came here to watch the video. He's not what. So the feelings is different, and by default, your own life is so complex that you cannot take care of how one is feeling or not feeling every second. So feeling is one's choice. How your biochemistry is changing, how your electrical circuit is changing inside your body is purely your choices, nobody else's choice. So don't expect people to hurt you, not hurt you, make you happy, not make you happy. We are not yet going into happiness also, but still, do not expect people to give you good feelings, and do not let people to expect good feelings from you. You have to say, feeling is your physiology. Your physiology is your choice. All right, if you do not like how your physiology is changing, interacting with me, don't interact. It's so simple. So understand, it is your body, it is your biochemistry, it is your electrical changes, it is your brain that is measuring those changes. It is your brain which is generating those hormones, and therefore it is your feeling. That has got nothing to do with how one is saying, what one is saying, what one is doing. It's the way your brain is trained. Your feeling comes from the way that you have grown up, the habits, how brain is measuring the changes and responding depends upon your entire life. Whatever way brain has reacted and responded, that's the same way brain is going to continue to do. All right, that's feeling. So what is emotion? All right, let me share a very simple story with you. There was a very deadly emperor called Ashurbanipal. Ashurbanipal was an emperor of Assyrian, Neo-Assyrian Empire, sometimes around 6th century BC. He was an extremely, very, very ruthless warrior. He used to subjugate people wherever he won war. He just killed people. He just enslaved them, burned their homes. His army would go there. Assyrian army was a killing machine. Wherever they went, they just killed people en masse, beheaded them, piled up the heads to make the pyramids. They put poison into the water. They will cut all the, big trees so that nobody comes and stays there for a long period of time. He was such an exceptionally brutal emperor, but he was also a scholar. He studied all the literary works in Mesopotamia for 2500 years, which was available. He was an extremely literary person. He understood the world in an exceptionally different ways. And Ashurbanipal created a library back then which had 30,000 cuneiform tablets. He hired people to copy good texts, literature, and he had this library. And in fact, we understood about the Mesopotamian civilization, about every knowledge that we have about the cradle, about the beginning, about the genesis of human civilization, when that library was discovered through excavation. So Ashurbanipal went with his army, completely ransacked the city, subjugated the king, killed people, enslaved people. Then he put relics. He created this massive stone relics where he put how great he was, how he wrote every torture method beautifully with his picture, very masculine, hunting lions, all those things. And we, not only that, we understood ancient Babylonian knowledge, ancient medicine knowledge, ancient knowledge of trading, ancient systems, everything from those 30,000 cuneiforms, which is available, of course, at the British Museum today. So, Ashurbanipal, whenever entered into the city, people would hear his name and they would already be given up on their life. However, whoever were scholars at that time, they would look into Ashurbanipal in a completely different way. They'd be meeting him, seeking his permission, go to his library, study, have a detailed discussion, intellectual discussion. They will formalize philosophies. And there was a relic, okay, where Ashurbanipal is sipping wine with his wife. That's the only Mesopotamian relics discovered so far where a king is having a dinner. It's a great scene. All the people who are attending there, it's a royal dinner where the king and the queen are taking dinner. Later, Greeks saw this relic, okay, and they created a version of this is one image. This generated some feeling, some imagination. Imagine, a king taking wine. There are females. So what exactly is the imagination that gets created in your brain? So the Greeks had an imagination. Okay, this is the Assyrian king. He was extremely, so he was always surrounded by females. He used to drink, have um, a lot of female. He was just like not like the Greeks. Greeks were very morally superior, but this Assyrian king was very very females around, always surrounded by females and so on, so very non-masculine type, and they called him Sardanapal. So somebody heard something about you and created a version about you, which is so incorrect. In fact, even up till 19th century, Sardanapal was one of the major characters in a lot of drama and poetries in the Western literature. They romanticized Ashurbanipal. And when formally Ashurbanipal was discovered, Greeks were like, and this is history. Herodotus, who was a great Greek historian, he creates this version of Ashurbanipal. So Herodotus got a feeling looking at that relief, and he did not bother to go very deep down into understanding who the Assyrian king was. He imagined something, he made a vision, and then he portrayed Ashurbanipal as Sardanapal. I'm pretty sure in your life also, a lot of time people create an image of yours and they become very aggressive when you behave or you work in a way that is not true to the image people have created for you in their brain. I'm pretty sure people become aggressive. They try to counter you. They say that you are not right, isn't it? This is what you are experiencing at this moment is an emotion. It's a stored state of that feeling. So, what is an emotion? An emotion is essentially a stored state of feeling which is stored with memory, thoughts, observation, and events. So, lot of events combined, thought regarding those events combined, feelings regarding those events combined, a chunk of memory, a small movie like entity gets created in your brain, which is the emotion. So you can feel the emotion. As I told you the story of Sardana Paul and Ashurvani Paul, your brain was visualizing, your brain was supplying you similar events from your life. So, an emotion is essentially a story. Your brain interlinks several events with a story. There is a start and there is an end. There are various feeling changes in that story from bad to good. So an emotion is not a single feelings, it's a set of feelings. There is a story, there are multiple events, there are thoughts associated with those events, there are feelings associated with those events, there is something happening in those events. So if there is a female out there, just close your eyes and imagine about the time when you had your puberty, those 3 days when you had bleeded for the first time. Just close your eyes and you will see each and every event just like it is happening at this moment. If you close your eyes and try to recollect the 3 days that you bleeded for the first time, you will see each and everything, everybody's face, your feelings. There are different feelings from fear to surprise, to somebody guiding you, explaining you, then to feeling good, then feeling relaxed. So there are multiple feelings. This is emotion. You can not take care of the feelings of the others because feelings changes every second. Nobody else can be responsible or take care of your feelings because your feeling changes every second. You can be responsible for somebody's emotion and somebody else can take care of your emotions because emotion is a story. If you create a story that spans for about 1 year, you don't have to be worried about feeling bad or feeling good because within this 1 year time period, there'll be several things that will happen and it don't matter to you whether you are feeling good, feeling aggressive, negative, as long as it is a continuous story. Remember, the reason you care for feelings, and if you end up telling people, don't hurt me, or don't make me feel bad, or I don't judge you, or don't judge me, nonsenses like those, then understand you are exceedingly feeling driven and there is no story in your life that is continuing. Also, interestingly, feeling is your own. But essentially, any story, any emotional story you try to recollect, you will see that there are many people. Let's say that you have got a job. If you try to recollect the job, it's not the job that is giving you the emotion. You'd imagine you went there, what you said to your father or your mother, you got something for your father or for your mother, their eyes. So emotion happens with people. So emotion is not only your feeling but their feeling. Emotion is not only your observation, their observation. So an emotion is an exceedingly good story that your brain connects. It connects your 1 year, 2 years of life. Because if you were to get a job, there is a process. You might have struggled for 6 months, giving various interviews, going through people to people, meeting people to people. So all those various things you did together, they got combined into a story, which was your job. It will have various feelings. Paradoxically, feelings cannot become emotions, and you can only feel emotions throughout your life. Let me repeat. Paradoxically, feelings don't become emotions, but you can only feel emotions throughout your life. So, when somebody says something, you're feeling bad, your brain is essentially supplying you memory from the past. So, what you are feeling is not what the person is telling you, but you're feeling your emotions, past emotions. Your story is negative. That's all for today's episode. I hope to a degree you now understand the difference between a feelings and emotion. A feelings is change of physiology every second that is perceived by your brain. The physiological change is electrical change, a chemical change in your body, and the brain's perception is through different type of neuro chemicals, for example, dopamine, adrenaline, and so on. Feelings are generally categorized into positive feelings and negative feelings. Emotion, on the other hand, is a story that has got characters, events, small events, feelings with regard to that events, how you perceive the feeling of the other person involved in those events, that your thoughts about that event, and then multiple such events connected through a timeline, through a story. So whenever somebody says you something, your brain tries to map that with your past emotions. So you will immediately react, or you react because your brain pulls up those memories. So if your emotions are bad, you will feel bad all the time, irrespective of how much you try to feel good, because you don't feel what one is saying. You can only feel your emotions. Of course, in the upcoming videos, I'm going to tell you how to build emotions, how to convert your feelings into emotions. But for today, that's all. Life is for living. It is not for solving problems. Knowledge is for understanding the world better, to make better sense out of the life, to get the meaning out of the life. Knowledge is not for knowing what to do and how to do to make things easier. Again, those are feelings. Please share your life story, experiences, what you learned in the comment section. I'll try to answer them, read them. Thank you for watching the video. Have a great day. Meet you again in the next episode. Till then, gather great emotions. Thank you.